Weekly travel update with Oz India Travel. And with that, we'd like to welcome once again Tanvi. Tanvi, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Umeshji. Thank you, everyone. Once again, today is our 17th episode. Oh my God. I remember last time Umeshji said sweet 16, and I thought he was telling about me, but of course not.
Of
But
course, that
yeah,
was
thank you
about.
for welcoming.
Of course, that
Sorry?
was about you. But this today is our 17th episode.
Yes, it is. So thank you for overwhelming response. I got a lot of questions as well last week. People asking about Valentine's Day. So definitely we're going to talk about that as well. Guys, before we go ahead, I would like to inform you all that any information we share today is general information only. For all up-to-date information, please check government's relevant websites, or you can contact us as well, because the rules and regulations may change anytime.
And quite rightfully said, as rules and regulations keep changing, you need to keep up to date with all the current information, which is very informative, and they always keep changing as well. Now, one point I'll mention here that, all this information that's been provided comes in really, really handy, because in the weekend I had to make an emergency trip to Sydney, and I could see firsthand the importance of knowing what's happening at this point in time. Because the traveling at this point in time of history, it is not the same as your normal everyday travel. So, you need to keep up to date. So these are all the points that have been discussed here are very important, especially if you're traveling around these times. And as Tanvi has said, that whatever said here is as general information only. Everyone's individual cases will differ. And if you are traveling, you will need to get your up-to-date advice as well. So, Tanvi, moving on, what is the main update for this week?
Before we go ahead, Umeshji, I would like to say happy journey to everyone who are flying today from Melbourne, and also those who are flying from Sydney on 13th of February, and also everyone flying through Emirates throughout the week. So a very happy journey to you all. I hope you all or your family have a fantastic trip back home, and they stay safe. And also, guys, how can I forget that the Valentine's Day coming in a few days? So a very happy advanced Valentine's Day to you all, to your loved ones, to your family. And yes, guys, you can celebrate this day with anyone, of course, your loved ones. It can be family members too. And today, definitely, since it's a Valentine's Day coming, I like to go through a few things which you guys can do over the weekend. Since it's still, you can't go overseas, but definitely there are so many amazing options in our backyard, guys, even within the state or nearby your city, or you go, it's Australia-wide, pretty much you can fly these days. So, yes, there are quite a few options, and I would like to really go through with you. So guys, first of all, you can take any short tours if you like to through our website as well. You can just quickly go to www.allindiatravel.com.au. You will see there's an option says Australia short tours. There are hundreds of tours you can take instantly for anywhere, any city, be it Gold Coast or Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide. So just to give you an idea, a little tip where you can go. So those who are in Brisbane, you can take maybe a cruise, little Brisbane River cruise. You can go to the theme parks. You can go to Crewman Sanctuary in Gold Coast, or those who love the haunting thing, you can take your loved one to the Dragulas. That's amazing. Or you can take a Sydney attraction pass. You can go to Darling Harbour for amazing cruises. You can go to Star Observation Deck. You can go, Great Ocean Road, those who are in Melbourne. And there are heaps of options available, guys, for Hobart, Perth, Adelaide, or anywhere, little towns of Australia as well. So please go through all that, and I'm sure there are so many options you can go through. For those who want to, see something like an old kind of or romantic place, especially our senior couples and some younger one as well, there's a very amazing property I came across. First of all, this property is like 86 years old, guys. So I would say, like, for my grandfather, probably, our grandfather must have seen that place. And this place called Yamba, they are just 3 hours south of Brisbane and 7 hours from north of Sydney. So their even room prices start just $69. But I was just watching in some of the news is that they are really doing amazing, especially for Valentine's Day. So I think you might just go, and they have amazing view. Guys, let me tell you, they are called like the best pub with the best view all around Australia, and very very cheap as well. So this is really amazing place, especially those who are in Queensland and New South Wales. You can check out this option. I have another good news for the people in Sydney. There is a place called Sydney Wildlife Retreat that's at Taronga. They have done a romance upgrade, they call it, which is amazing. These guys got the most romantic getaways in Sydney, and they got the on the occasion for Valentine's Day. And the Jew has launched a romance upgrade, basically they call it. So they are available for booking classic and ultimate retreat packages for stays for Valentine's Day weekend, which start from 12th. That means just from tomorrow. So I think they still have some seats left for that. So generally their price for room, guys, in weekdays starts around $455, but I'm sure on weekends they're a little dearer. So you might have to pay over $500. And those who have even made the booking, seems they are upgrading those for Valentine's Day special for just $95 per room. How cool is that? And also, guys, this includes your cocktails on arrival, an intimate adult-only sunset tour into the zoo to hear tales of some wild mates, and the heartwarming surprises to compensate or give you amazing views, and it's making it very very special occasion. So I would definitely highly recommend you to check out those places. And there are some more. If you just Google it, you'll find so many amazing places. So I thought I'll just give you a little overview and really, kind of remind you, especially boys, you generally don't remember. Girls have to literally push like I do for my husband that, we should do something on the weekend. And guys, you don't have any excuse because this time it's falling on Sunday, happily. So these are just little tips for you all. Now let's be a little bit serious and tell you some serious news. Very first one, I'll start with the COVID-19 immunization and how and what the federal government is doing, which is really an amazing initiative. So the federal government is in the final stages of developing a vaccine certificate platform which would provide proof of COVID-19 immunization recognized by other country to help facilitate most post-pandemic travel. Federal Government Services Minister Stuart Robert yesterday detailed about enhancement to the MyGov portal and also Express Plus Medicare app to verify these immunizations via the Australian immunization registrar. So that means, because as we mentioned in last week as well, that there are other countries opening up for those who are taking COVID-19 immunizations, those who are taking doses, especially 1 or 2. So it's really good to see that our country and our Australian government is also, putting all these things in place, which means whenever things opens up, we are good to go. And I'm sure because things are, if they add to the MyGov and all these amazing platforms, then we will be welcomed by other countries as well. Which is amazing to see. Now, I have another news for those who are in Brisbane. So I would say, amazingly, this time Brisbane is a little bit more lucky because Brisbane has some great news around. So there is a property, maybe you must have heard, a Hotel Indigo Brisbane Fortitude Valley. And they are going, guys, to the luxury segment this time. So you might heard them as saying as IHG as well, but they are basically called Hotel Indigo Brisbane Fortitude Valley. And the new built-up hotel will offer extravagant interior design with premium amenities, including a rooftop pool bar and an interactive lightning facade. So you can imagine having, the rooftop pool. Oh my God, I can't imagine. I'm definitely gonna go once it's done. So that's really amazing news for those who are around Brisbane, guys. And I saw another news from Victoria. So there was a new little survey done by Victoria. So there is something called Roy Morgan Snap SMS survey. These guys have done a survey just to know that what Victorians want. And as per their survey, 60% of Victorians said they still want to be, called as a current state of emergency to last until at least till December. So they don't want much things to be opened up, just for your information, because still it's not confirmed what government gonna do. But it's just a little survey which says that Victoria might not be open completely till December. That's what majority of people want. So just for your information. Now, I have another good news. So that's and definitely once everything opens up, there are some countries, guys, who are building so many amazing properties, since everything else is quite still right now, especially UAE. So UAE is leading the pipeline of future hotels, and you will be surprised to know that they are doing development in some of the properties, and the number is around 173. So how cool is that? So 117 properties in UAE is under construction at this stage, according to a new top hotel construction report. And followed with that, Saudi Arabia said around 156 and Qatar 42. So yeah, that's really amazing news that whenever things opens up, we'll have a lot more options coming up. And I got one more news from the Hawaii Tourism Authority. So since Hawaii is another very cool destination close to Australia, where a lot of people even go on weekends and really want to go. And I came across this news, and I was like so excited to share with you all. So Hawaii Tourism Authority has launched 2021 and 2023. They call it Hawaii Destination Management Action Plan, which aims to improve the visitor experience of holidaymakers. The initiatives outlined include a greater investment in Hawaiian cultural programs, new policies to address over-tourism, the creation of new education materials for visitors, etiquette, and reduction of island traffic. So you can imagine that they are really planning up so many things, and Hawaii government is doing a lot of cultural programs as well, and trying to make sure that you guys are safe, and got actually 2 years action plan. So I'm sure whenever you go there, it will be really amazing. So these are little bits and pieces, updates for you all for now. And I'll be letting you know a bit more details a bit later. Misty.
And thank you very much for that update. Well, of course, romance is in the air. It is February and the weekend is coming. I was quite intrigued by your romance upgrade to Sydney's wildlife retreat at Taronga Zoo. And the package with some tales of wild mating. Wow, amazing. But one of the things you mentioned that it's only for the young ones. So why would that be?
That's right. Look, amazing. Young means young at heart. It doesn't matter, what age you are. Age is just a number, right? So when you see me at 100, I'll be still young. So yeah, don't worry about it, the numbers.
Of course, quite rightfully said that, the age is just the numbers. You are young at heart. And if you keep up to date with things, you're quite out there. Well, right now, moving on, and on a serious note, what are the flight options that we have now from Brisbane?
Okay, so guys, from Brisbane, we have a next charter, like I mentioned before as well, that 26th of February, Malindo charter going directly from Brisbane to Delhi, and we are connecting that to all around India as well. And we have options from 15 close onwards till 50 close, and the fares start $1,099. So that's the only direct charter available from Brisbane at this stage. And if you can't go on 26th February, you want to go before or after, we have quite a few dates, and we have made a lot of connections via Melbourne and Sydney as well. Let me just go through what's the earliest flight you can take. So you can, if you want to have a charter, you can take earliest flight is 19th of February. Then you can take 4th March, 11th March, 13th of March, 25th of March, 27th of March, which means for coming 6 weeks, we have pretty much packaged many flights via Melbourne and Sydney as well. And hopefully we'll have another charter coming from Brisbane directly in March as well. So it should be launched pretty much next week, and we'll definitely update you with that. And if you like to go through Emirates, that's also possible. But Emirates is going with longer hauls. And pretty much for our next coming week, they have only business class available, which is over $6,000. But if you're an emergency, definitely you can fly. So yes, there are quite a few options from Brisbane at this stage, everyone.
It's good to see that there are many options now, and even from Brisbane here as well. Now, before we go to the next question, I'd just like to add on a little bit there is if people are interested in this, what should they do first? Do they have to register their names to be, put in line for those flights?
No, Umesh, they can we just have to check some documents. So whenever they are ready, they can just give us a call and tell us that what is their condition is. So as we mentioned in last few episodes as well, that we need to check whether they are Australian citizens, whether they are PR, or if they are a student or they are just a tourist going back home. So if someone got the PR citizen, they would need exemption to travel from Home Affairs. Or if they are Australian citizen, they would need OCI. And in case they don't have OCI, they can apply for the entry visa from Indian High Commission. So if they want to go, they can just give us a call or message us, and we'll just send them email, and they have to reply us with all the documents, and they just can book it straight away. So there is no other thing they have to do for the booking information.
And thank you very much for that update as well, because many people might not know what to do first. Now, what are the options from Sydney? Because our flight that we took to Sydney, even though we went to the domestic, we had to go to the international because there's a hotel which is attached right to the terminal, so that we could stay there in the night and go in the morning. And looking outside the window, I could see all the area where normally you'd see so many international aircrafts parked there. All I could see was a Delta Airlines out there as well, and it looked pretty sad. But anyway, what are the options from Sydney at this point in time?
So basically, we have quite a few flights for 5 to 6 weeks. So pretty much one flight a week. So next one available, if we talk about charters, are 18th February, 27th February, 4th of March, 13th March, 18th March, and 27th March. And guys, I have another news for you that Vande Bharat mission. So that's Air India flights also launched. We have flight pretty much every Monday. So they are the Vande Bharat mission flights up till 22nd of March. So 15th of February is the next one. Then 22nd February, 1st March, 8th March, 15th March. Though their fares start $1,798 for Vande Bharat mission flights. And for charter flights, the fare starts as $1,099. So you can see there's a big difference. But yes, you have quite a few options. You can fly every week pretty much from Sydney at this stage.
So that's again a good news for people from flying out of Sydney. And as we know, when we look at these options, whether you're flying out of Sydney or Brisbane, people can travel locally. So, if someone's missed flight from one place, if they want to come to another, they can do that as well. Right. And now moving on to your favorite Melbourne. So what are the options from Melbourne at this point in time?
So Melbourne, once again, got so many flights, so there is no problem for flights, especially for next 6 weeks. So next available, I'll tell you, there are some Singapore lines. So we have 3 Singapore lines flight, 19th February, 5th of March, and 19th of March. And if you can take Sri Lankan Airlines, which is a little bit cheaper, especially price point of view, if you see around $100 to $150 difference in price. So next is 18th February, 20th February, 25th February, 6th March, 11th March, 20th March, and 25th March. So there are quite a few flights, and pretty much you have 2 flights a week from Melbourne to India at this stage. Amazing.
Okay, so most of the areas you covered quite well for the next 6 weeks by the looks of it. So, if you have intentions of flying, get in touch ASAP. Well, right now, that covers most of our part of Australia, Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne. And now, what about people coming back from India to Australia? What's happening in that area? Any updates there?
After a long time, I can tell you that I'm happy to really discuss this one, because I just saw the update that there are some flights coming, and happily Vande Bharat mission flights has also launched some flights. So just so that you guys can remember it, it's pretty much every Sunday for next 6 weeks from now. So the next available flight, guys, that's Delhi to Sydney on 14th of February, then 21st of February, 28th February, 7th March, 14th March, 21st March. So that's every Sunday for next 6 weeks. For booking that, you have to go on Air India website. Just keep looking for the flights, because we don't know when they're gonna open it, when they're gonna really the flights gonna complete or close. So, or you have to be in contact and see the DFAT as well. Like I always tell you, that you have to register with DFAT if you have not done already, and DFAT will shortlist and send you at least all these details that the Air India flights are coming. But yes, it's really a good thing to see that there are some flight launch. And as per the update I saw, Indian government is pretty much planning to have more flights from India to Australia. We can see already 7 flights are in place every Sunday. So please look for that, and hopefully you'll get those flights. And if you're not registered yet with DFAT, do so. And don't forget to check the Australians Stuck in India Facebook page, because whoever has booked it and whatever experience they had, they are keep sharing on those Facebook groups. So that will be best source of information for all the flights from India to Australia. Amazing.
And with those flights from India to Australia, what would the quarantine requirements be?
So quarantine requirements is the same once you reach Australia. So let's say these flights are coming to Sydney, you have to do institutional quarantine for 2 weeks, and the cost per person is at least $2,000, so 2,200. And then depending if you are a family of 4, then it would be really cheaper. And I heard there are some options where if you want to apply from government rebate or ask them to pay in installments, these options are there as well. But they will tell you once you reach Sydney. The hotel are decided by government that once you reach, they are sending you to their own hotels. I don't think so you have option to choose it, but definitely they are institutional quarantine for 2 weeks once you reach Australia.
Well, that's again a good news there, that if you come and the government is there prepared, and they will take you to whichever the suitable location. And of course, some of the states, it might differ a little bit. So, there are so many things like that people need to do. So what are your tips for people traveling at this point in time, including the quarantine, of course, which we discussed?
Okay, so first of all, I would say, Umesh, since there are flights from India to Australia at this stage, I would say the first step would be, guys, those who have people stuck in India or you are stuck in India, please keep checking Air India website every few hours, because we don't know when they are going to open it. And if you're lucky, you will be able to open it and just book it. So please keep checking that. And other one, you can still check the Emirates flights, but please check how many hours they are, stopping, because all the Emirates flights are pretty much going with longer hauls. I have seen in some instances where we sent quotations to the passengers and it says 16 hours, 30 minutes, but some people write 6 hours. So please make sure you have read it correctly. And I want to clarify one more thing, guys, here is please don't think that airlines is differentiating between Australian citizens and Indian citizens. Nothing like that. It's just those who are Australian citizens getting hotel from airlines, because the Australian citizens don't need visa for UAE. And Indian citizens are given lounges free of cost inside the airport, just because they cannot go. For going outside, you need a visa for it. So I've got some instances and heard from some people, they are saying, the airlines and government is differentiating with us. They're giving to Australian citizens, not to Indian citizens. So please understand, they are not differentiating. It's just the rule. And Emirates pretty much have hotels outside the airport. That's why they can take only Australian citizens. So, but if you are going with Emirates, since these days it's going okay, and we can apply the hotel and lounges for you without any issues. But please check that most of the flights are reaching Delhi or India from Brisbane or any part you go from Australia to India, pretty much around 34 hours to, it can go up to 54 hours as well. So definitely it's there. And also, seems there are some of you still confused whether you have to take COVID test 96 hours prior to departure or 72 hours before departure. Guys, remember, it has to be 72 hours before departure. It doesn't matter which city you are flying from. And it's always the time starts from your international flight. So, for example, you're flying from Brisbane in the morning, 8 o'clock, and your flight from Sydney or Melbourne is at 9 o'clock. Then don't consider it's 9 p.m., 8 a.m. from Brisbane. You have to calculate the time from your international flight, which is, for example, in this case, 9 p.m. from Sydney. So that's something which so many people get confused. And as I always mention and have seen once again the same mistake people doing, please, book your domestic flights when you get the final clearance from your charter company or wherever you have booked. We generally recommend to book the domestic flight whenever you have to take the charter flights. Sorry, my bad. So what I mean to say is whenever you book the charter flight, international one, you have, and you need a domestic flight as well. For example, you are flying Brisbane to Sydney, Sydney to Delhi, and you have bought Sydney to Delhi flight. If you are thinking to book Brisbane to Sydney yourself, please check with your agent first whether that flight is still going on time, because every charter flight mostly gets state approval 5 to 10 days before the flight departure. And in that time, sometimes they may do a date change or they can do a little bit reschedule. So if you're not booking that, your domestic flight in package, and you have booked your domestic flight before, that means if the time changes, you have to pay for the difference and it may be additional cost to you. So please, this is also one of the very important tip I would give you. Either you book a domestic flight packaged with your charter flight, or you book it little bit days before after checking with your agent so you don't lose your money. Nothing else. And please don't get confused. Once again, I've seen some passengers got confused with the PNR number, which is on self-reporting form or your international tickets. So I clarified that last week as well, and clarifying once again for you. So PNR is different when you have repatriation flights, Emirates or Air India. And in all charter flights, you never have any PR number, because charter flights are manual. And PR number in self-reporting form is a different number. They call it PNR. It's separate than your airline's PNR number. So it's totally different. But if you still have any questions, you can always call us and we're there for you. So that's about it. And once again, I would like to, tell you all, if you have any questions, you can always call us. And very proud to say, doesn't matter you have booked with us or not, we are there for you. You can message us on our hotline 040 3264. You can jump on our website www.ausindiatravel.com.au. We have a little callback option there as well. You can send us your questions on our website or on our Facebook. And don't forget to share this video if you liked and you feel it's got any value. So please share with your family and friends. And you can go through our all last 16 episodes as well on Australian Indian Radio, Brisbane Indian Times, their YouTube pages, or our page as well on our Aus India Travel. And if you have any question, you can always message on the same video, or you can give us a call. So we are always there for you. Messi.
Thank you very much for that wonderful update as well. And on that matter of discrimination, I think it was quite good that you've clarified the difference there between the requirements of Australian citizens and Indian citizens. So it is that requirement and the visa requirements and the things that are covered by one passport and not the other. So it's not the discrimination as people might think. So that is a very, very good point there. Well, thank you very much for the update. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining in. And once again, as Tanvi has mentioned, that if you'd like to, go back to any of the episodes, they're all there. So don't forget that we've got the YouTube channel as well, which is Australian Indian Radio's YouTube. And of course, a few of our Facebook pages and accounts. You can find all the episodes there, all 16 of them, all there. So once again, thank you so much, Tanvi, for this wonderful update, very relevant and very timely, and that's why we keep doing this every week, because there are so many things that are happening and changing. And now I can say that I have traveled. I mean, it is only a small domestic flight, but even then, you get to see firsthand what's sort of happening out there. So it is very important, all the things that you're saying there. Well, until next time, is goodbye from us, and don't forget the Valentine's retreat. And of course, if you are in Sydney, don't forget Sydney's wildlife retreat for adults only at Taronga Zoo, the Wild Mates. Wow, I like that.